Okay, this is a video on the Topoint Top X Stabilizer. So it is straight out the box. I have no idea how much weight is on the end. Didn't even ask. It was 95 Australian dollars. It is on the front of a PSE Bowmadness Unleashed, set at around 60 pounds. The arrows I'm going to be shooting, this bow is not tuned for the arrows. It is tuned for my hunting arrows. So what I'm going to be shooting it with is the heavier freebie arrows that came with mine and my girlfriend's bows. So I'm going to shoot at 46 yards. I'll set the sight to 50 yards, which should allow for the slightly heavier arrows, but won't worry too much about hitting the target, but more have a look at what this thing can do for your grouping at 46 yards. So bearing in mind we are shooting at little plastic cones around the size of a dinner plate, and if I was to shoot half a dozen of those with half a dozen arrows at 46 yards, I'd say 3 or 4 of those would hit the plastic cone. So we'll see how we go. Like I say, literally everything is a little bit out of whack, but we won't worry too much because we're more interested in grouping. And I'm not even gonna take my time. I'm just gonna let off a round. And see how we go. So there's 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 arrows to send down there. Keep it nice and quick. Won't worry too much. And we'll see if it's worth the money. So it's actually, this 30-inch stabilizer was actually $50 cheaper than my 12-inch bee stinger stabilizer. And I bought this with 3D in mind. And coming down here, I really enjoy coming down here shooting at 70 and 80 yards. So I thought I might as well, for 95 bucks, see what happens. Don't actually know whether they're going high or low or what. I'd expect them all to be low. So they are, like I say, heavier arrow. Last 2. I can feel, it does feel a lot more stable on the target. Last one. And then what we'll do is we'll take it next door, we'll give it a go at 70 yards. Okay. So like I say, that bow is actually set up for these hunter gold tips. But I didn't increase the yardage on the pin by 4 yards. Probably wasn't enough, but might have done something, because these arrows, they're pretty cheap and heavy. Well, that's not bad for the speed. For the speed I was letting them off. So if they were arrows which were actually tuned to the bow, I'd say all bar maybe one of them would be in the cone. So yeah, not bad for $95. We'll go to the longer range and see what happens at 70 yards. Okay, so this is going to be the 60-yard test with the 30-inch toe point. So, like I said before, my bow is not set up for these arrows. So, we stood at the 60-yard marker. What I've done is I've set my sight pin, I don't know if you can see that, to 70 yards. So the arrows are heavier than what I thought. So at the 60-yard marker, I've got to make the adjustment of a full 10 yards to make up for these cheaper, heavier arrows. So again, we'll let down 8 of them and see what the grouping is. I've got to admit, it does can't see it. It does feel better when you're holding the pin on the target. And it does give you more confidence. For an amateur archer, you're always looking for a way to improve your grouping. I did feel earlier as though I was cheating a bit, but I suppose professional archers, they will use stabilizers. Not that you'd be using this if you were hunting though. Thinking about that one. Even these arrows, they got different nocks, different tips, but we should get the idea. Last 3. just about make out a couple. I'm definitely starting to fatigue. Me and the missus, we done a 3-hour hike just a couple of hours ago, so a bit weak and shaky. Last one. We'll go down and see if it grouped. Those last three are real shaky. But I'm hoping to see everything within at 60 yards within a dinner plate. That would be good. Well, I suppose it's not too bad. We've got a whole bunch there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got 3, 1 up there, 2 down there, got 5 there. I suppose what it has shown me is that my sight needs adjusting a little bit. I need to pull that to the left to send my arrows to the right, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, so 50% of the arrows are on that tape. So all we need to do is just send the sight left a little bit and pull these arrows over, and then these ones will all be in the centre mark. 1, 2, 3. They might have been my last 3 shaky ones, but on the whole, I'd say that stabilizer has done the world of good. For 95 bucks, I would definitely say it's a pretty good investment. See what you think. Okay, so my personal opinion, after about half an hour's shooting, I'd say yes, there is an improvement, but you're only going to get that improvement on a 30 inch stabilizer doing 3D and down the range. You are not going to be taking it hunting. So if you're going to get completely used to using this, if you're then going to go hunting, personally I'll be taking this off a few weeks before I go, sticking on the shorter one, and then just practicing hard from 40 yards, maybe 50 yards, and then shorter. And then when your hunt is done, go back to your target practice. So we'll do our last 8. This is again 56 yards, so sight is set at just over 60 to allow for those heavier arrows. And again, we're just playing. little bit low, so move that sight up a little bit more. That's about 7 o'clock on the target. About that one. I am noticing I'm fatiguing a lot quicker. Can't hold it there for too long before it starts to shake. Last one. That was definitely my last arrow of the day. There's no point being down here if you're weak and tired and shaking all over the place. But definitely think it's money well spent. Don't know if I'm going to have it on my bow every single time I'm shooting. I'll probably just try and keep it on, or put it on, when I know that I'm going to be set at long range. So yeah, not brilliant at all. Actually, pretty crap. So I would say there's no better or worse than using either no stabilizer or just my 12-inch bee stinger one. But I'd say that was 100% me fatiguing, but I'm definitely glad I bought it, and will definitely be using the stabilizer on the other range when I'm shooting 60, 70, 80 yards, and I'll be using it for 3D competitions. So yep, that is the Topoint 30-inch, 95 Australian dollars, probably worth the money. Catch ya.